So, welcome to Django. The next couple videos, I'm just going to talk about Django and everything about Django. Today, I think we're going to start with the history, and we're going to skip over the series section. We'll go over that at a later date. So we're going to start with who are the different factions. First, we have Nova. It was once a large bioengineering field, but it started to use its wealth to gain power and make friends in high places, which allowed them to take control of the 5 systems right under the noses of Sentinel, who is kind of the galactic overlord at that time. Nova will then go on, and they will start their own kind of small empire, which will eventually get in the middle of Sentinel and the Psychonics People Republic. Sentinel is a large tech empire ruled for 2,000 years before the war. It was run in a semi-democratic way with senators from each world to represent their planet. They believe that every species has a voice as long as they follow the Sentinel's system, but they weren't really friends with the PPR, who's the Psychonics People Republic. Sentinel saw Psychonic people as people that could be enslaved easily and taken over. This will technically cause the 1,000-Year War. Psychonics People Republic is a collective of every Psychonic system. The PPR believe that Psychonic planets should be separate from the rest of the galaxy to protect themselves. This worked for 200 years before they couldn't take Sentinel's constant moves towards taking their system, so in 1796 TP, which is Time of Peace, PPR, such as Psychonics People Republic, will start the Great War. Now, this is just a short history. So, Django, we're going to skip the whole part about Django for now. We're going to come back to that in a little bit. We're just going to just keep with the 1,000-Year War right now. So the prequel to Django is that there is a 1,000-Year War that is started when the PPR, the Psychonics People Republic, rise up against Sentinel. Since Sentinel would regularly enslave and brainwash every very powerful Psychonics for their great army, but in 1796 TP, a new age started when PPR attacked the Empire of Sentinel. And of course, I stole that line from The Last Airbender, Avatar The Last Airbender. While this was happening, a new enemy is building Nova. Nova started a bioengineering company, but as it built, it became richer and richer. It started building and designing its own army. In 1790 TP, Nova had already taken more than eight systems. Of course, at this point, no one really noticed. So in 1796, as the PPR started the war, Nova led a strike on a battle. So basically, there's a big fucking battle, and in the middle of the battle, Nova strikes both of them, killing them both. At the same time, this starts a new era, which is called TW, Time of War. This era will be around for about 1,000 years. Now, there's several big events that people need to know about. The first one is in 497 TW, so Time of War. There is 100 years of peace. So, and then to 498 to 602, there's 104 years of peace between Nova and Sentinel. PPR, the Psychonics People Republic, will eventually go down. In 497, 5 years, the PPR will be defeated by Nova, because 5 years before their downfall, a group called Cypher, infamous for their brain hacking, will break away from PPR. This action by the new group, known as Cypher, will cause PPR to lose the fight in 497. Now in 498, because of the end of PPR, Nova and Sentinel will come to a peace agreement which will last about 104 years. But while this is happening, both sides are developing super soldiers through psychonic energy. Most Psychonics until this point had to come from a certain race, and now that using bioengineering, Nova and Sentinel were able to give it to regular humanoids. And because of this, you get the Battle of a Million Tears, which caused almost 500,000 Sentinel infiltrators to die. The battle lasted about 5 days, and 500,000 people, almost a million people, died. From this point forward, Nova led the war after that huge fucking battle until 995 TW, when Nova blew up Sentinel's home system. Sentinel was forced to one galaxy they can go to, and the planet, one system that they could go to, and the planet the planet was called Jango, but they couldn't go on Jango. Jango was incredibly pressurized, so they had to be on the moons. So this battle was called the Battle of the Two Moons because of the two moons surrounding the planet of Jango. The battle lasted about 5 years, and in the end, Sentinel will be destroyed. Now after Nova wiped out their enemy, after 1,000 years, they had too many prisoners, so they had to build a prison, which is Jango. Jango is a prison planet created by the Empire of Nova after they win the 1,000-year war. Now they name it Jango, so then they could remind every Sentinel prisoner that, well, it's embarrassment of their last battle, of how they lost, because they were on the moons of Jango. And Nova actually creates Jango. So, and then intro to Jango. Jango is kind of Jango is a hard Nova surrounded with planetary defense field. So Jango has this planetary defense field around it that forces everyone who goes through it blows up. The whole system, the whole planet is pressurized, so no one can actually land on Jango. They have to take a space elevator like you see in Star Wars: The Clone Wars, if you ever watched that. Most of Dune it's 4 different continents. The main continent we're focusing on is the desert continent, which is based on Dune, one of my favorite books ever. So this is the kind of entire history of Dune. Ask me if you have any questions.